We actually have Inzektors performing in the year 2022, and we have more Exosister deck list for you guys as well. Like the 33.8% of you guys have not smashed living crap out of that subscribe button. This is the second time I've had to film this. Oh boy, so Inzektors performing in the year 2022. What does this deck look like? Well, it's Scythelock, ladies and gentlemen, yay! I'm actually very impressed to see that this deck was able to function on, I would say, a better level and able to kind of keep up with the I guess adaptiveness of how the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game has gone over the years here. You know, one card, I guess, helped out. So we have one copy of Artifact Scythe, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We have one Celestial with one Dashy Boy, one copy of Effect Veiler with one Ghost Ogre. Really got to hit the high notes on those cross-out targets. We have triple Sentai Pad, triple copies of Dragonfly, two copies of Giga Chad, two copies of Inzektor Hopper, triple copies of Inzektor Hornet, triple copies of Ladybug, one copy of Nibiru, one copy of Called by the Grave, triple copies of Crossout Designator, one copy of Foolish Bro, three copies of Forbidden Droplet, two copies of Fusion Destiny, triple copies of Zect Caliber, triple copies of Zect Trico, and then we have one copy of Infinite Impermanence here, wrapping up the main deck. Down in the extra deck, we have, of course, one Verte Machine, because why would we not want to shove two Inzektor monsters together? We have one Unicron, triple copies of Pico Falania, now coming in OTS printing 3. We also have one Armor Horn, one copy of everybody's favorite Dagda, one Apo, one Axis Machine, one Tornado Dragon, one Gugaris the Timeless, Sinkata King. Then we have, of course, Leviair with one Abyss Dweller, one copy of Destroyer Phoenix Friend. And then side deck here we have one Pankratops, two copies of Godarla, triple copies of Dark Lord No More, one Arby's Feather Duster, two copies of Lightning Storm, triple copies of Twin Twisters, and triple copies of, yeah, laugh at your opponent as you evenly match them, the strategy. Wrapping up Inzektors. Next up here is Exosister. Now, I think the thing that I've loved about this deck is this deck has got, like, what, 4 to 5 actual locals tops? I know that doesn't mean jack shit to half of the community right now, but we don't have anything too high up in terms of stats. I think it's actually kind of hilarious to see that, you know, this deck, a lot of people just tossed it aside and they're like, I don't want to play Trash Sisters. Like, what's the point? It's working, all right? Hand traps do a lot more than I think people really give them credit for via the modern era here. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, one Celestial with one Dasher, triple copies of Ellis, one copy of Irene, two copies of Sophia, and we have triple copies of Stella. Then we have triple copies of Ghost Bell in the Haunted Mansion, triple copies of Ghost Ogie, one Called by the Grave, one Armament, triple copies of Pax. We also have two copies of Droplet for board breaking, two copies of Fusion Destiny, one Feather Duster for back row breaking. Then we have one Pot of Dizizes. Then we have triple Vadis, triple Imperm, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here. Wrapping up the main deck. Down here in the extra deck, one Verte Anaconda. It's almost like this is a trend or something. We have one Time Thief Redoer, one Baguski, triple copies of Mikhails, one copy of Caspiel, two copies of Jabrine, two copies of Osophiel, two copies of Zeus. And then we have one Abyss Dweller and one copy of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. Side deck here, we have triple Ansia, triple Droll Lockbird, triple Cosmic Cyclone, two Anti-Spell Fragrance, triple Evenly Matched, and one copy of Red Reboot here, wrapping up another Exosister list. I do fundamentally find that it is very interesting to see that we've come a long way here in terms of how this deck looks like it can adapt on paper. Next up here, we have Azzy's Thunder Dragon list. Now, Azzy is no stranger to this channel. We do see a lot of cool levels of innovation from him in terms of how things kind of develop for Thunder Dragons with him. And I think that that's pretty freaking cool that you can see, you know, how this deck adapts in the format. So we have triple copies of Alistar the Invoker, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, one copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, two copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, triple copies of Gamma, one the Chaos Creator, triple copies of Thunder Dragon, triple copies of Thunder Dragon Dark, one Thunder Dragon Duo with one Dragon Hawk, triple copies of Dragon Roar, one copy of Wyvern Buster with one Psy-Frame Driver. Spells here, we have triple Lure Darkness, triple Chaos Space, triple copies of Emergency Teleport, one Gold Sark, two Invocation, triple Magical Meltdown, two copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion, and one Macro Cosmo. Wrapping up the main deck here. Down here in the extract, we have one Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, one Low Mirage, one Verti Anaconda, one Nightmare Griffin, one Curious, one Boral Sword Dragon, one copy of Alistair the Cheap Invoker. Then we have one Zombie Vampire. I was told in my notes here that this card is absolutely nuts. And it's such a powerhouse when this thing resolves that, yeah. So, pick up your vampire zombies, friends. We have one Chaos Ruler, two copies of Titanclad, one Macabre, two Kaliga, and one Agoides. Side deck here we have triple Lancia, triple Draw and Lockbird, triple Draw Dark Ruler, no fun. We have one Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Regeki. I still can't believe this card's at 3 man. And then we have two copies of Twin Twisters here. Wrapping up your interesting Thunder Dragon concept. Like I said, there's a lot of cool things you can kind of mess around with in this format. This might be one of the ones that you want to play for your normal summon Alistair. Next up here is, yeah, Virtual World. I think it's the interesting thing with Virtual World, this format. You have the Brave package on one hand that you can mess around with, and it looks really good in Virtual World. You also have the other side of things where you can play Punk. Now, I'm not saying that one build is particularly better than the other. It comes down to what your particular end boards that you want to see really can end on. I think either way, both builds have their merits, and you can go either way here. So we have two copies of Noah Punk Foxy Toon, two copies of Ogre Dance, triple copies of Xiamin, one copy of Madam Spider, triple copies of Lulu. Of course, we have two copies of Lily, two copies of Lalo, two copies of Gigi, one Nyan, two copies of Space Rock, two Lancia, two Ash Blossom, one Ghost Ogre, one Despot 001, triple Emergency Teleport, triple Kowloon, two copies of Quinglong, two copies of Forbidden Chalice, two copies of Cosmic Cyclone, one Called by the Grave, two copies of Infinite Permanence, two copies of Chuche, one Zuan Wu, one Dangerous Gabu, wrapping up the main deck. I do like the fact that you actually like have an interaction point to search for an extra copy of literally Infinite Permanence built into your deck, because it has Punk in the name. I don't know how many of you guys actually pay attention to the Punk cards, but yeah, you have an effect failure. Let's see, we also have one Auroradon, one Hulk, one Zeus, one Gaia, one M7 with one Break Sword. We have one Sentient, one Vermilion Dragon Mech, one Crystal Wing, one Borreload Savage, one Coral Dragon, one Stardust Charge, one Giu, one Cupid Pitch, and one Altamaya Tzolk'in. Side deck here we have one Nibiru, one Lancia, triple Droll, triple Dark Ruinum, two Twin Twister, one Cosmic Cyclone, triple Dimensional Bear, and one copy of Red Reboot here. Wrapping up Punk and Friends. And the last list I have for you guys here is Flunder. Yeah, we're actually playing a mini Simorg package in this variant here, which I guess gives you more options to kind of mess around with in the long run. I'm not really sure, how well this is, but all right. So we have one Snell, one Impen, one Mega Ryza, one Apex Avium. We have triple Dimension Shifter, two copies of Simorg, one Barrier Statue, triple Egan, one Stritch, triple Rabina, one Toucan Sam with one Called by the Grave, triple Journey, two copies of Book of Moon, triple copies of the Magnificent Map, one Alboras, the Sacred Land of Simorg, one Flundereese, Tribute My Opponent's Stuff, one Feather Duster, triple Prosperity, triple Duality, one Terraforming, one Macro, two copies of Dreaming Town, and one copy of Dogmatica Punishment here. Down in the extract, we have one Calmbruster, one Frigette, one Shirog, one Assembled Nightingale, because why not, one Nova, and of course we have one Gustav with one Juggernaut Libby, one copy of Zeus, then we have one Prima Donna. Did you guys know this also has the effect of when sent to the graveyard, target one of your banished cards and shuffle it back into the deck? Pretty good for punishment. We also have one Wind Pegasus, one Omega, two copies of Venentis, one Skull Knight, and one Macabre. Side deck here, we got two big balls. We got one Dark Simorg, two Lancia, two Dark Onomore, two Lightning Storm, one Simorg Repulsion, triple Evenly Matched, and two copies of Harpy's Featherstorm here. Wrapping up this chunk of interesting deck profiles for you guys. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.